Howdy, folks. Widget Walls from NateCoffee.com here. And again, mystery no camera person. So we're back for another Wayhomer. Let me adjust the air here. 1 second. Bear with me. Oh my god. And that's a little better. So, just a brief explanation of what's going on here. The Wayhomer reviews, of course, I see a movie in the cinema, I tell you about it on my way home. It's fairly simple in that regard. But the deal, existing films I can't really talk about that much because the problem is I can't see them on the big screen, right? So I thought about trying to figure out a way to do like DVD reviews or something like that, but part of the problem is to watch the whole DVD of a lot of films just bores me and takes a lot of time. I mean, the reason I do these is because writing out a movie review is quite frankly boring, and everybody and his brother Bob does it now, so it's pointless. So, I mean, it's not entirely pointless, but it has no joy for me. So, same thing with a DVD review. I tried to figure out some novel way of doing a DVD thing, but that means watching an entire DVD, like all the features, which is just, I don't have time for that at this point. And, you know, if you haven't watched the entire DVD, then it's not a DVD review, is it? So anyway, but the deal is, I have to see it on the big screen and then talk about it on my way home. But sometimes they show things on the big screen. Like tonight, because we're here to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay, so, Raiders. Does anyone need a synopsis of Raiders? Okay, fine, I'll give it to you. So basically, we're introduced to Indiana Jones for the first time, who is a archaeologist, unlike most archaeologists, in that he, you know, packs a gun, packs a whip, packs an awesome hat, and can kick ass. Sometimes he gets his ass kicked, but for the most part, he kicks ass in multiple ways. Now, the thing about Indiana Jones is he's an adventurer slash, archaeologist. And it turns out that American intelligence has intercepted a deal from the Germans where the Nazis, of course, because this is 1936, of course, the Nazis are on the trail of the Ark of the Covenant, which is supposed to grant tremendous powers to anyone who wields it. So obviously, nobody wants the Germans to wield tremendous powers, so Indiana Jones is dispatched to find the Ark of the Covenant before the Nazis, and hijinks ensue. I have no idea what just fell. So yeah, I mean, here's the deal. It is the classic Spielberg film. Lucas, Spielberg, back before they were replaced by automatons put here by aliens, and of course, as we all know, the original Lucas and Spielberg, sadly, were kidnapped a long time ago and replaced with aliens, which is why, Kingdom of the Skull happened. But the good news is that you can, this film is extant. You can go watch it and enjoy it whenever you like, and you don't have to acknowledge the fact that there was ever a Kingdom of the Skull, Crystal Skull, whatever. See, I've already Crystal Skull, Champagne. I have no idea. So you can just go back and enjoy this. And the thing about this film, and why it was important for me to catch it on the big screen, is that it is so enjoyable. It is just so fun. It is an adventure film done by people who remember how to make adventure films. And I mean, they were basically, wanting to go after the whole adventure serial feel, and they managed to do that, and yet make it accessible to modern audiences who probably, had no idea what an adventure serial was. And they managed to do that with some success, unlike, say, Sky Captain, which couldn't figure out how to, get to its audiences, or the audiences just didn't show up, bastards. But, I mean, the thing about Raiders that I find impressive is that it holds up. I mean, yes, when you look at it, the fight sequences in the, running through the streets with the gunshot and the marrying in the basket and everything, I don't think, is there spoilers? If you need spoiler alerts for Raiders of the Lost Ark, then to hell with you. But, I mean, part of the thing is, it's, yes, you look at that and you compare that to fight scenes today and you just go, wow, this is almost Three Stoogian, if there is such a word, in comparison. But you don't care, because the most important thing is you're having fun. It's an adventure. And I won't even say it's like a ride. We talk about in these about how a lot of movies are like rides, like amusement park rides, roller coaster rides, whatever else. That does it a disservice to simply call it a ride, because it's so well crafted. One of the things about watching it on the big screen and watching it again is I wanted to really pay attention, because I knew I was going to be talking about it. The shots, the cinematography in it are just amazing. I mean, they look fantastic. There's pretty much not a shot in there where you just go, that doesn't look quite so good. I mean, they all are, the framing is just perfect. You've got Harrison Ford, who is, reinventing himself. I think this is the second time, if you count, you got Han Solo, and then he became Indy, and then he became Jack Ryan, and then he still hadn't become his fourth thing yet, I don't think, but he hadn't figured out what that is yet. But here he is, just completely making it. Karen Allen is fantastic. Rhys-Davies is fantastic. It's all just so good. And that's part of the problem with reviewing it, is that, we look at films in the context. It's hard to look at films in the context of when they were made and when they came out and reacting to them in the proper way. The example I always use about that is Psycho. Is that people, when they watch Psycho, if they don't know what they're seeing, they just go, this is boring, I've seen this before. Yeah, you've seen it before, because, 40 plus years of cinema have been borrowing from it. So, of course, you've seen it before. So, I mean, it's the same thing, talking about this. It's like, this is the adventure film by which all other adventure films have been measured. So, it's like, how do you review that? But I'm trying. The major thing is, it still holds up, and its replay factor is off the charts. It is the sort of film that most of the people I know, if they're not communists, will want to watch over and over and over again, because it's just so good. Sadly, I don't know about you guys, but Temple of Doom, in retrospect, doesn't hold the same thing, nor does Last Crusade, and screw that fourth film. So there's very few films like that just hold up to viewing after viewing after viewing, and you can just keep on watching them all day long. I think the closest film that comes to the feeling of Raiders, of just sheer fun, like you're indulging yourself, you're indulging your inner child by watching it and just enjoying the hell out of it, would be, honestly, the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, because it was just a fun, rollicking adventure. And you're talking to a guy who thinks the word rollicking is terrible. So, I mean, it's a hell of a lot of fun, and it still is. God, what else can I say about this? I mean, that's the main thing, is I wanted to come at this from the standpoint of, it was 81, I think it was? So, I mean, we're looking at it from this distance, and, first of all, any of you, whoever was in there talking about, they came and they did a spiel before the movie, we're talking about how they were showing old movies, which made me just want to, I mean, she was a, cute young girl and whatever, but I just wanted to punch her in the face. Raiders is not old. Anyway, but, I mean, that's the main thing, is that it holds up so well. And that is something that can be said about so few films. I mean, it's not even a thing about, they don't make films like they used to, which they don't. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't see them making Raiders today. They wouldn't know how to do it. They wouldn't have the restraint necessary to actually have fight sequences in which you can, have one shot instead of jump cuts and slow motion and insanity. And they wouldn't have as much of a sense of humor as you would need to pull off Raiders. Because, I mean, that's part of why that sequence works with the Three Stooges fight and whatever else, is that you've got ha 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 whatever, and then, boom, explosion. So it's just so well crafted and well set up, and I don't think you could do it today. You could do something similar, like Pirates, but you wouldn't be able to pull it off. So there is something to be said for it in that respect. But I think that, there's few films back then that you could still watch today and still enjoy them just as much as you did when you first saw them. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing that I wanted to say. The other thing I wanted to say is this, is that, look, if you have places near you where they are showing, let's just call them older films so they don't start crying on camera, older films on the big screen, go see them. Support cinemas that are trying to do something new, and show films on the big screen so you can get that experience. Part of the reason why we still have cinemas is that there are still films that need to be seen on the big screen. And, you can do all these different things. You can have DVD, you can have on-demand, you can have 3D in your freaking house, but they're never going to be able to come up with a way for you, I don't think so anyway, a way to replace seeing a really good movie in a reasonably packed house with people who are into the film just as much as you are. That is the thing that I don't think they're going to be able to replace. But they need your support in order to make stuff like that happen. So when cinemas do things that we like, we should reward them. And when they don't, we should punish them. So that's the major thing. Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's hard to even give it a cup rating because of the fact that I am seeing it, all these years later after seeing it on the big screen and loving it then, and I still love it now. And I think I saw this with Mighty Bill and Aruka were there, friends of Neat Coffee, and Bill summed it up, perfectly. Is that he felt as giddy watching it now on the big screen as he did when he saw it when he was a kid. I mean, that's the mark of a fantastic film. So I mean, I would be doing it a disservice if I didn't give it 5 cups, because it deserves 5 cups just for what it is. It's fantastic. So yes, if you can see Raiders or any other of these older films on the big screen, do so, because there's just no substitute. Now, if they're going to bring back Adam Sandler and Big Daddy, or I don't know, Shrek 2, pass. But a classic film like this, go check it out. Definitely do whatever you have to do, but go check it out. Especially if you have somebody who, for whatever reason, they're younger and have never seen it on the big screen, they're in for a treat. And it's up to us, the older generation, to make sure that we pass on the cinematic heritage that we have. And it's part of the geek credo, I guess. So anyway, that's it for me for Raiders. It was just a pleasure seeing it again. And would I go sit through it again? Yeah, and I might actually. Anyway, so if you enjoy these sort of things, if you enjoy what we do here at Neat Coffee, as always, please stumble us. Please share us on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever it is that you do, when you do it, where you do it. And we appreciate everybody's support. So we will see you next time. We will probably doing a younger film. Anyway, until then, bye. You want to know something really scary? I actually observed this during the film. I did not realize this until seeing it this time. Is that Alfred Molina, who of course plays the henchman at the beginning, Indy's henchman. I forget what his name is, his actual character name is. But I swear to God, he has pretty much the same haircut there as he does in Law and Order Los Angeles. And you know what? It doesn't work in Law and Order Los Angeles. In fact, his haircut looks terrible. Actually, you know what? His haircut in this does look better. It's slightly longer. But damn, it's close.